us this evening. I wanted to put together a very quick video in response to Ryan from Automatic Comics video that he produced on his channel this past week. I subscribed to Ryan. He's a very good channel, but I had a real problem with his content, and I said so in his chat. So it's his latest one. Today is July 3rd when I'm filming this. This had to be about 2 or 3 days ago. And the subject matter was Fantastic 448. Apparently CGC has reclassified, I think this is how it worked, a 9/8 version of that, which is pretty stunning for a book from the 1960s, the mid-60s, to be classified a 9/8. They reclassified this particular one a 9/9. The problem I have with it, and Ryan profiled that in his own channel, he looked at the book through the images that he had, and he pointed out a number of flaws in that. Two color breaks on two edges, and for a 9/8 you can only have two flaws. But the biggest problem is the spine roll, not the spine part of the spine wrap rather. When you have the comic, in fact, I have this right here. I have a Fantastic Four 48, which doesn't really have that problem. So I should have opened this up before starting the video. But let's just open it up and take a quick peek. Gotta be very careful with this because it's a very pricey book. I don't particularly have that problem on my particular copy. So this is a beautiful copy. When I restarted my collection, this is the first comic that I bought. And it's in beautiful condition. Absolutely beautiful condition. But you can see it has not as bad as the one that Ryan profiled, a bit of a spine, the wrap roll. And that's the cover, wrapping and showing itself on the back. The one that is profiled as a 9/9 has a far worse situation than mine here. Now, why that's a problem is because CGC has its own guidelines regarding what is what. And just based on the spine wrap, that should not be a 9/9. It's obvious it's not a 9/9. With, again, the color breaks in two different sections, and the biggest violator is that spine wrap. And according to, again, CGC's own guidelines, it cannot be a 9/9. I don't even think, to be honest with you, it's a 9/8. I think it's a gorgeous 9/6. It's a bit of a stretch to say that's a 9/8, but it's not a 9/9. And my problem with Ryan, in his conclusion in his video, he is accepting the grading by CGC that it is a 9/9. And this is the second time CGC has done this. If you remember back a couple years ago, when there was a giant size X-Men 1, which I don't have, so I can't show you, there were problems with that particular one as well. Many people said, and these are people who have good expertise in grading, who are saying that's not even a 9/8. There's tons of flaws with that one. But that was considered a 9/9. Why is that a problem? If you introduce a new element, and in this case, the first and only 9/9 for that particular book, for this book right here, you are automatically changing the market. All these, every one from all the way to the 9/8s, because there is no 9/9, all the way down to this one. This is probably, if I had this graded, to be fair, it's probably a 5. The argument could be made for a 6, but that's as far as it goes. It's got some spine stress here. There's no spine breakage or whatever. There are spine ticks and so forth, but that's fine. But that's a fair and honest grade. There's no way it's going to be higher than that. But they're saying that it is. And people are, as Ryan pointed out, going to accept that it's a 9/9. And they're going to pay money for that 9/9. What's frustrating is inside the case, you can obviously see it's not a 9/9, but people are accepting it because they're accepting the word of CGC. And it's unbelievably frustrating. And I said two things in the comment section on his video. I said, A, who's responsible for this? Who's the grader that did this? There are no names. Was it one or two people or more that got together and said, hey, this is the best comic we've ever seen. This is a 9/9 and this is why. They don't do that. They don't reveal who makes these decisions. This is a groundbreaking decision if it was a 9/9. But you would think that the people responsible would want to be proud of this and say, hey, I'm the person who did this. There isn't one. And the other is that Now that there is an accepted 99 or an alleged 99, again the market changes, the numbers change. So that's completely wrong. What to do about it, I don't know. But my problem with Ryan is, I said it again in his chat, he's accepting that it's a 9-9, and it's certainly not. And the same with the Giant Size X-Men 1. That's not a 9-9. That was more obvious than the Fantastic 448. Keep in mind, when they did books like this, and I've got the triad here. This one, I got FF49, and I got this in a CBCS, got this some time ago. It doesn't have this spine wraparound issue. It's a lower grade, it's a 3.5, but it's a solid book. But it is what it is. People are accepting that 9.9 is a 9.9, and that's just completely wrong. And CGC won't fess up to it. And again, if you like here, let's take this one here. I said that I had the triad here. I've got a beautiful Fantastic Four 50. This also doesn't have any problem with the spine wrap because it's perfectly flat. And again, keep in mind, the paper quality back in those days was really, really low grade. They were just pulp. They hustled them out. I don't know who the printer was and all that. The blades were always very dull. So getting a sharp corner on anything is remarkable given the low quality of the paper. But again, what this is an EGS 4.0. Tony has the, what did he say here? I've got those little certificates, and all the grader's notes are right here. So he listed a number of things: spine, routed corners, spine stress, and all that, but nothing regarding the spine wrap. There's no mention of the spine wrap if you look at the grader's notes. I think Ryan did. I can't remember if he did or not, but again, it's just wrong. And again, I've said this before, people gave me a lot of heat for going to this company, but I trusted this company because what was on the label was right here. Now, what's going to happen moving forward? I don't know. People just don't seem to care about that. They don't care about quality. They don't care about, if you, my example is you buy a can of chicken noodle soup, you open the contents, there's noodles, there's broth, there's no chicken in it. So it's not chicken noodle soup. People don't really care about that though. But I don't know what that is going to fetch. It's going to be possibly 6 figures plus when that goes to market, which is supposed to be in a couple of days. But that bothered me so much that I wanted to have a little video and just say, it's an outrage. It's an absolute outrage. Why have they moved the goalpost? Because again, CGC has its own guidelines regarding how you grade something and what are considered flaws. And my understanding is if you have 2 flaws in a comic, that's the farthest you can go and still get a 9.8. There's no way you can consider that a 9.9. But it is what it is, guys. And this is why I still will never go to CGC. I don't trust them. I don't trust them at all. This would never have happened, in my opinion, 5 years ago before Blackstone bought them out. So something has changed there. And remember, CGC fired all of its Silver Age graders not that long ago. So again, who's the person responsible for all this? Why no one comes out? Is it Matt Nelson himself? Should he come out and say that he graded it? Again, there's a lot more questions than answers, but I was so outraged and just bothered by that whole thing. I had to make this quick little video. So it may matter nothing to any of you, but it matters a lot to me because I love my comics. And if I sell this, by the way, this is signed by Stan Lee. I should show this. This was signed just before he passed. I'll be very careful with this. A couple of months before he passed, and I'll open the splash page very carefully. And let's see if I can get Stan's signature on there. There it is right there. I hope that comes in clear enough. And you can tell, he was not himself. He was, a few months before passing. So the signature is a little shaky. His hands were a little shaky. I have other Stan Lee signature comics, and he has a very pronounced signature. And that was the last one that he did before he passed. And I put the book in front of him, just as a quick aside, and I told him thank you for everything. And when he recognized that, because the Silver Surfer was his favorite creation, he knew exactly what it was immediately. But if I sell anything, and one day I may sell my comics, but one thing I will never do is lie about what's in it and the grade and so forth. I just don't want to cheat people, because in essence, That's what CGC is doing. They're cheating people because it's clearly not what is described. Now, let me know what you guys think about it. You guys are pretty sharp regarding that sort of thing. So leave me some comments and some feedback and let me know what your thoughts are on this matter. Anyway, thanks for joining. I appreciate this. It's really rather hurried video, but it bothered me enough where I wanted to make some comment on it. And again, I'm not knocking Ryan. I like Ryan an awful lot. I've been on a show with him once. We kind of see a little bit different regarding the comic industry and so forth. He's a professional buyer and seller, but the acceptance of that 99, that's just wrong. That's just totally wrong. Anyway, thanks for joining. Please like, comment, and subscribe. This is Dan Delatorre, and this is Comic Book Corner.